Hi everybody, it's Sam Norris here, the Property Investors Broker, and on today's video I'm going to be talking about why development appraisals are one of the vital tools that you need if you're looking to get development funding for the first time. Now there are quite a big list of, well, I say quite a relatively reasonable list of sort of information and details that development funders require when we are applying for development finance, and those would be details on you as the client, as the developer, on what your financial situation is. You know, your assets, your liabilities, and probably an income and expenditure form as well. They're also going to want to know what your property experience is like, so you will need to provide a property CV and also a portfolio spreadsheet, so details of all the properties that you currently own. Don't worry if you don't have any of that experience at the moment. There's still going to be funding available for you. It just might not be as widespread as if you have a bit more experience. But the other thing on that list is what we call a development appraisal, and that's what I wanted to speak to you about today. The development appraisal essentially is an overview of the development project that you are looking to get funded. It's your building. It's the nuts and bolts basically of the financials surrounding the project that you're doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my screen with you for a little while to show you a sort of a basic Excel spreadsheet development appraisal and run through that with you now so you can see what that looks like. So here we go. So as you can see, it's pretty basic. So at the top, we will just make sure that your name is in there, and obviously you've got the site's address on there as well, so that any prospective lender, knows what project that they're looking at. So as we scroll down, the bit at the top is, I use this terminology quite a lot when I'm speaking to my clients. We'll start with the end in mind, and here is no different. At the top here, first thing is all about income. It's all about what the project is going to be worth once we actually get to sell it. We call it's our gross development value. And as you can see here, it's actually broken down into potentially multiple properties. Now, if you're just buying one single unit, maybe a family home that you're going to be renovating, extending, whatever it might be, then you're only just going to have one unit, as we call it. But if you are, say, purchasing a block of flats and you're converting it purchasing an office block and converting it into a block of flats, then what we would probably do is we would put the individual units in there, their square footage next to it, and then what their estimated sale price is, so that we can have a total at the bottom. That is actually going to be our total GDV, our gross development value, what the entire project is going to sell for once it's all done and dusted. So that bit, relatively straightforward, but can get a bit more complex when you're looking at sort of 10, 15, 20, maybe more units within a project. So as we move down, we'll get into the expenditure part, and this is where it starts to become a little bit more tricky. So first and foremost, the big expenditure for any is going to be the actual purchase price of the site. That's going to be an easy one to know. You know how much you're purchasing the site for. Then what comes under here in this first section is some of the costs involved in that process. So we've got our purchase price, but then there's going to be solicitor's fees. You're going to have to pay a solicitor. Of course you are. There's stamp duty and disbursements. That's part of the, should make up your legal fee as well. Any planning costs or architect's fees that you need to work into. And again, section 106 costs are going to be kind of part of that as well. Any insurances that you need to pay out for, and then any other costs. Now, of course, you can add in any extras in there that you want to break down as well, but they're going to be the main ones that we see sort of time and time again. The next little section, which is broken by just having an extra row in here, is when we work into the actual costs to do the work and the build. So there's going to be a main overall sort of cost for the work, and we can usually break down break that down into a cost per square footage. So we can add that all in there and come up with an end amount there. And that's usually the amount that we start with when we're looking at development finance, where we're looking to get that amount covered as much as we possibly can. Some lenders can go up to 100% of this amount. So it's really important on this section here, number 24, that we get a broken down cost of works from a reputable contractor, cost per square footage. We know what the square footage total is going to be, and then that gives us a total in this box here. Now underneath are some added extras as part of this. So we'll have the site clearance part, which isn't always included in the prime build costs, any structural work, any sort of water, electrical, drainage infrastructure work that needs to go on. This is usually part of the prep, any landscaping and sort of issues with boundaries or anything like that that's going to require any physical work to be done as well. So some lenders will look at taking into account all of these costs. There is a section here for any others in there, but of course, as I said, with the other part on expenditure, this isn't the be all and end all. You can add in extra bits in here as you see fit, or you can just add in those as other costs. Now, ordinarily, we'll usually add in a contingency on this as well. So usually somewhere around the 10% mark. So what we would look at is the total of the prime all the way down to the other, find 10% of that and add that in as a contingency as well. And that completes this section, kind of the works section, we'll call it, of the development appraisal. As we scroll down then, the next kind of section when it comes to expenditure is going to be if you're selling your developed project, it's going to be these are kind of your selling costs. So solicitors fees, again, you've used a solicitor to purchase your property, you're going to need one to sell it, and then agents costs. You need to probably sell through an agent, even if you've got quite a large number of units. You'll definitely want to be getting an agent or a group of agents on board to market these for you, and there's going to be a cost involved in that. All of these estimated total costs then go into here. And that forms the expenditure total. Our total GDV from when we were looking above here then goes into here, and then we have our net profit. And realistically, it's as simple as that. So there you have it. That's a bit of a quick overview of what a development appraisal should look like, and it's a really fundamental tool, I suppose you could call it, to have any developer needs to really understand that particular form and have it readily available so that they can appraise every single site that they look at and potentially look to purchase, so that they can make sure that actually, number one, it's a site that actually works for you, but also number two, we use those figures as the basis for working out what finance options are available. So I hope that you found this video interesting. If you have, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and obviously don't forget to click the notifications bell as well, so you know when future videos are coming out. I've been Sam Norris. I'm the Property Investors Broker. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.